This video is recorded to help my students to understand the Chapter 7 concepts, which is the concept about arrays. I want to cover the following topic. First, the array basic concepts, then array declaration, array initialization, array input, array output. Okay, so will be initialization. Input is the initialization, so then we need to know the output and array as a function argument. So let's first say what is the array concepts. Now at this point we declare variables, like if we declare integer x, so x just hold one integer, right? If I want to hold another integer, I will declare another integer y, for example. So imagine if you want to write a program to have student scores for like 20 student scores. How do I declare variables? Now you might say, okay, I can declare score 1, score 2, score 3, and so on. Now you notice, first of all, this is very inefficient. Secondly, how about if you have a bigger class, have 100 students, you will not declare 100 variables like this, right? That's really not doable. How about you have a bigger school, has 5,000 students, you want to manage all those student scores, you will not declare 5,000 variables like score 1, score 2, up to score 5,000. That's not doable. So based on that, we introduce the array concept. What is array? Array is a collection of data of same type. Now notice, first is a collection of data, then all those data have the same type. Okay, now and the array must have a fixed size. So that means if you have an array of 20 this same type data, then this array size is 20. That means this array can hold a collection of 20 data of this type. So in this case, if we want to declare array, you need to declare three things. So we know the array has fixed size, same type of data, right? And so if we want to declare, so we need to declare his type and give a variable name, which is this array's name, and we need to give the size. So for example, I declare integer scores 20. Now this, which means declare an array that can hold 20 scores. Each score is an integer. Okay, so you declare the type is an integer, and this array's name called scores. You make the name readable, right? So people read this name, oh, you will use this array to hold the scores. Then notice this is the brackets, inside brackets 20, this is the size. Okay, now after you declare the array, then how can you before you use it, you need to initialize it, right? You need to initialize then, because you declare the array with 20 can hold 20 scores, but none of the score has been initialized. Now what happened here is, when you declare like this in the memory, it will resolve 20 consecutive memory unit. Each of this unit will store an integer. Now all these units under one name called scores. Okay, so then this scores will hold the address of those consecutive memory units. Now those consecutive depends on the language. Like in C++, I believe each memory unit, if you can hold an integer, then memory unit is supposed to have 4 bytes. So equivalency here resolve 80 bytes. Okay, which is 20 consecutive memory units to store 20 integers. Totally have 80 bytes. Each integer is 4 bytes. Now all those units under one name called scores. So scores is the address of the first memory unit in those 20 consecutive memory units. You also can say is the address of the first byte of those 80 bytes. Okay. Now, after declare like that, then you can access each array element by array name and index. Now, what does this index mean? For example, if I say scores 0, scores 0 means the first element in this array. Now, notice the index starts from 0. So the last element in this array will be scores 19. Since your size is 20, then scores 19 is the last element in this array. So now scores 0, scores 1, scores 2, up to scores 19, they all you can be used as the same way you use an integer variable, because those can be treated as integer variable. So you can assign its value. For example, you say scores 0 equal 90. Now this assignment, which means the first element in this array is initialized as 90. In the real application, you can say the first student score is 90, or the student's first score is 90, right? Dependent. Now you also can say scores 1 equal 100. So you initialize the second student score is 100, or the second score is 100. Okay. Of course, normally for this case, we would like to initialize the array from the keyboard. If you want to initialize array from the keyboard, you will ask people to enter totally 20 elements, integers from the keyboard. How you do that? Or of course, you will not use like a cin score 0, cin scores 1. You will not do that. You will use loop. So normally you can use loop. So you declare integer I. This is index variable for array. Then you can say for I equals 0, I less than 20, I plus plus. Notice I like to use less than 20. 20 is the array size. Less than 20, I is an integer. Less than 20, that means maximum is 19. So you can say your I will go through from 0 to 19, which is go through the index of the first element in the array to the last element of the array. So each time you want the input from the keyboard, so you say this input ith element. Now, when I say ith, zeros is the first element, ones is the second element. This is not appropriate English, but we just say this ith element in the array from keyboard. Okay, so you will see like this. Of course, to this example purpose, we really don't want to use 20 to practice like this, right? It's input from the keyboard. In the future, you will learn how to input from file. If you have student score file, you can just input from the file to every score to the array from the file. Okay. So this is called initialize array. You can do this way. If you want output, you can also just use cout. Again, you go through array. You will say I equals 0, I less than 20, I plus plus. Then you will cout scores I. This just like you will do this way. Okay. Now let us try more. For example, if I want to calculate the average of the score, then how can you do that? In that case, I will calculate the total score first, then I divide by how many scores I have. So in that case, I declare integer sum equals 0, or I should say, don't use sum, I just say total score. integer total score equals 0, then I can say for I equals 0, I less than 20, I plus plus. Each time I will add one score, scores I, to this total score. So if when I equals 0, I add scores 0 to total score. When I equal 1, I add scores 1 to total score, right? Then I keep doing that. Then I will add all the array elements value to the total score. So equivalent, I add up all the elements in the array. Then the average is, so I clear the cout. The average score is, then I just need to use total score divided by 20. If I want the decimal value, so I make 20 become 20.0. If you don't do that, since total score is integer divided by integer, the result will be integer. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long, so let's stop here, because use array as a function argument, we can make it to next video. Let me stop to get your feedback. Now let us run the code, see if it works. Okay, so if you write, then build successfully. Notice I forgot to put any prompt say that's into 20 scores. So let us just we did into 20 scores. You don't have to type hit the indicate every time, but you can do it like this. Or I should not use 20, right? Just use all 100. Suppose student got all 100. Some 90. Now, then what is the average score is 97.5. Here is have those because I want to print out those 20 scores. Notice since I didn't print out to the new line, after print out one, I didn't print out the new line, so that's why they all stick together. But the average score, he did calculate the average is 97.5. Okay, so if you have any questions, please send me an email.